finally we're doing the interview as well.
Finally we're here. Finally we're engaging.
Yes. We had a lot of social skills depending or going between us, but now we're actually doing something for the benefit of the documentaries and stuff. And it's quite funny because, well, as we were planning to meet somewhere else to do this, and you suggested this place. Now thinking of it, this is actually the place where it all began too.
You know what
some meters from here.
That's pretty much there.
Yeah, it's pretty much over there. So that's where it all.
Park bench, where it all began. For the benefit of those that do not know us, my name is Trellesborg. But of course, Parkusin Kumsa, and I'm here today with Peter Luftfist. I'm trying to pronounce it as Swedish as I can.
That's good. Luftfist. That's just fine.
Peter and I actually we met under very interesting circumstances. I was sitting on the park bench just right about that, and the thing that brought us together was our cameras, right?
It was. Yeah.
And so I checked Peter's camera out, and I'm like, pretty nice equipment, and that actually got us to be on that park bench for pretty much over 30 minutes.
I missed 2 trains on purpose. I knew I was missing the trains, and I missed them on purpose, 2 of them, just for the benefit of our talk.
And this actually gets me to the point where we're not strangers.
No.
We're just amazing human beings, just waiting for that connection. I'm gonna ask you, Peter. First of all, the 2 things that actually got me very interested. It was the tattoo that you have on your right arm.
Oh yeah, this one.
There's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt, guys.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm wearing this. Now tell me about that tattoo you have on.
Now I'm going to try to pronounce this one right. It's like Genjamir or something like that. Yeah, Genjamir. Yes. And it's the meaning is only God knows, or only with God, or something like that, or close to it. And it's a sign that my first visit in Ghana, I saw this sign everywhere. It was on chairs and balconies, on buildings and stuff like that, together with sometimes other symbols as well. But this one really got to me. I thought it was kind of beautiful. So I just decided to have it tattooed in there as a symbol for what Ghana means to me. That pretty much, it got right into my soul the very first time I was there. After that, I've been there several times after that, and it's always confirmed the first feeling that I had.
Now tell me about your first. What actually took you to Ghana? How did you even stumble upon Ghana? How did you find the country?
Well, it's an NGO that I'm running. It started off in Kenya, and then as it went along there, I have an acquaintance here in Sweden, Mercy, and she's very close to me, very dear, and we done a lot of talking, and she actually is the one who invited me to Ghana the first time, and she accompanied me also going there. It was just an amazing experience.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go back to the symbol.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you saw this symbol pretty much everywhere in Ghana.
I did.
It's a very popular symbol. It's one of the popular symbols that we have, that have been passed on by our ancestors. But did you also find out in which category this symbol belongs to?
No, not really. No.
Right. So there's a series of symbols called the class symbols, and this is pretty much one of those symbols. There are many more symbols in that category that our ancestors left. There's a symbol for bravery, called Akofna. There's a symbol for tenacity, for temperance, for leadership. We have over 40 different symbols, but this pretty much is the predominant one because Ghanaians see the supreme being above all other. Now you tell me, it's very interesting. You tell me about the places that you've been to, Ghana.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that place.
Yes, well I've been to several places. I've been to Kumasi and Takoradi and Accra and all this, but I think what maybe you're thinking of is my engagement in Dixco, maybe, which you are very much engaged in too, one way or the other. And that is also because the very first day when we were talking about it, I was telling you about that, we have accomplished to finish off a school or make a school ready for more children. And I think you asked me where it was, and I said, well, it's in a village called Dixco, and you were like, really? That's, kind of your home village or whatever. Yes. And Well, that of course, it gives me goosebumps. Actually, now, white people, we get these. You see, it also, and just thinking about it, that two people, meeting on the European continent in Scandinavia, just pretty much you would think randomly, and then we talk about it, and things just come to maybe it's not that random. There is some kind of purpose with this, because we have actually walked the very same ground. We put our foot down in the very same place in Africa continent. And not only one place. I mean, there's been Zulazo, and there's Dixkov, and there's other places too. And it's just amazing the way that we can come together like this, on the streets of Malmo, Sweden, and have so much in common. And yet, if we just had passed, 5 minutes earlier or later, we would never have known. Or maybe we would be destined to meet somewhere else at some other time, but there's so little that would be needed for us to just, kind of pass each other, at least that day.
We were supposed to meet. I mean, it was
sure.
A divine connection to our man. And it's interesting that you talk about Injelezu, because Injelezu means the shelter on the river. And also the fact that we met the same people. When we compared photographs, you noticed that we saw the same children, the same kids. Interesting that they're doing similar projects. You're doing the school and disco. You have some engagement in Agro as well, which is the exact village that my ancestors come from.
Just amazing.
So it's very interesting. Now, tell me, it's also interesting that we also happen to be traveling to Ghana around the same time.
Yes, and yet that is also a bit of a astonishing coincidence that actually, I'm telling you that I'm going to Ghana in about now 11 days, and you're telling me, well, I'm going in about 15 days. So meeting here in Scandinavia, and then in 2 weeks from now we'll actually be in Ghana at the same time too, totally independent of each other's plans and schedules before, and we will actually be, and hopefully we will find some way to get together also. But there is a lot there, and we also have, the United States in common, because I actually grew up there for them. So it's
the commonalities is just amazing.
There's so many
phenomenal.
things.
We've been in the same places in Miami. We've walked the same earth, guys. We've walked the same earth. Tell me, Peter, about your relationship with the country of Ghana, the people, the food, the culture. What is it about Ghana that you really like?
It's one of those things. It's hard to actually put your finger on it, but it feels to me, for some reason, maybe some high reason as well, it feels like I know the place already. I figure out the way things work quite easily.
Very easy.
I pick up the language, a little bit too easy also. It just when it comes to me, and I come up with these chi phrases. And yama ado madam.
And he snaps too, right?
I snap too. All right, okay. So yes, I snap, and I do that.
The size and all that
the size too. The size. So I kind of pick it up, and I would have to say that the people in Ghana, in particular, are just extremely welcoming and extremely friendly, and always very helpful. I get by quite well and quite easily. Although it's of course for a European or for a Scandinavian maybe in particular, it's a crazy place. You come to Accra at a bus station, and you're going like, God, how? Yeah, it's chaotic. There's people everywhere carrying things on their heads, and just people going about, and people wanting to carry your bags and stuff like that. But somehow I just kind of navigate through these things, and people will also look out for me. If they see that I might be a little bit confused, there's always somebody coming to, hey, are you lost, Bruni? Bruni, where are you going? I'll say, I'm going to Takoradi, and they're, come here, They will just help me out, Even on the bus when I was going to Takoradi, I was sitting with my bag, and the woman beside me, she was so concerned. She says, "Oh, you're going to be warm with this bag in your knee. Please let me help you. I'll put it in the aisle and things like that." Yes, of course, the bus ride was very warm as well. I think that is the mentality of the Ghanaian people. And I don't know how many times when I've gone out, maybe taking a swim or something like that, there's always somebody who says, don't go far over me, don't go far. You know, kind of looking out for me, thinking that maybe I don't know about the currents and things like that. You know? So every time I go into the ocean, there's always somebody, you know, kind of warning, don't go far. And I feel that that kind of loving, caring feeling just makes me want to hang around there as much as possible.
Tell me about food.
Food.
I know you can do some very interesting things. I mean, I've seen. I mean, but I want it on camera. Really, I'm like, what? I can't even do that. You know what I mean? I mean, that for me was challenging because now I'm inspired to want to learn to do some of the things that you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm inspired to learn the language better. You know, the
Yes.
Swedish language better. Although you know, you have a couple of things, but to make an effort. You know, to learn and integrate really quickly because it looks like you did that pretty well. You know, I mean, tell me about the local delicacies, you know, and one your favorite and the one that you can prepare.
All right. Well, I would say that's probably the same one. Well, in the morning I go down to my favorite street corner and I have some cocoa bowl floats. And I have these, you know, they're really, I mean, you hold this plastic bag and it's so hot to begin with, and you have to kind of spin it around and then you just bite the corner off and you make that, you pull it, you know, kind of to make that little straw into it. You know, you can go about drinking that for about a half an hour. And then you'll have the bowl float and the little tissues waiting for you. It's just magnificent. So that's one of my favorite ways to start the morning. And then, of course, I enjoy well, kenke and yam and all these things too, but fufu is probably my favorites with well, peanut soup or pear soup, whatever.
You like fufu?
I do like fufu, and I make fufu myself too. I bought my own fufu stick in Takoradi in the market
You have a
circle.
mortar and pestle?
I have everything, you know. So I bought this thing, and I was carrying it home, and people were going, "Hey, oh Bruno, you're going to make some fufu?" And I said, "Yes, you can come." And so I know how to make fufu, you know, with the plantain and the okra and everything like that. I do get tired in my arm though, so I'm really impressed of these people, you know, sitting doing fufu all day. With their, you know, getting really muscular. Because I get tired. I have to use both my hands.
That's, I mean, like everything that you have to do naturally, organically, it puts a lot of effort. I mean, it's like if you're making handmade clothes, for instance. I mean, there's a lot of detailing that goes into making sure that the finished product comes out pretty good. You know, and if you compare that to commercialization of it, there's also a difference. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And the love that goes into preparing the delicacy, you know, and the whole tradition around it, you know, and then sitting to enjoy the food.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried eating fufu with a bunch of people? Have you ever tried that?
I have, yes. Yes. And from the same bowl too, you know. I have my tailor, or tailor that I usually let him do my clothing when I come to Takoradi. He invites me. If I come there around, you know, lunchtime or so, he'll be sitting there with his friends eating. He'll just invite me and probably take offense if I don't sit down and eat too. So yes, I've done that.
Do you know why that you have to eat all in one bowl?
No, I don't. No.
I'll tell you why. Because it fosters togetherness.
All right.
When you're eating not on the same table, well, it's good to eat on a dining table, but eating from the same bowl also is a thing of trust.
All right.
Because if I trust you, then I can eat the same food with you. Not on a different plate, but in the same bowl.
Yeah.
So whatever happens to me also happens to you.
Well, that's a nice way of you know, kind of gaining the trust for each other too, not separating. I didn't know that. No, I didn't know. But then again, usually, I mean, when you go to a chop bar or something, you will get separate bowls for the most part. So, but yeah, I like fufu. Sometimes, or mostly, I must say, when it comes to making it myself, it doesn't happen that often. I go to a chop bar and I get it there. I have some favorite ones, and if I want the taste of it, usually I'm too lazy, so I'll just chop up the cassava and I'll kind of fry it or cook it, and I'll just eat it as chips, you know.
You were talking about chop bars. Now tell us about your impressions of chop bars in Ghana. Which one is your favorite?
I have my favorite one. It's on the corner of Akroma Streets and Kofiana in Takoradi. That is my favorite one. It's close to home and they know me a little bit there too. I think my first impression of a chop bar was the plainness of it. You know? It's like, it could be just a hut, or it could be anything. You know? There'll be somebody just serving food in there, and usually it's not decorated or anything like that. They'll have like plastic tablecloths, and you'll get things, you know, in plastic bowls, and you'll wash your hands and all these things, you know, by the table. So there's a lot of experiences that you will go for the first time. You will go, oh, this is odd, this is kind of weird and stuff like that. But when you get into it, it also becomes a bit of a custom for yourself. So I actually, I have found myself doing similar things even here. You know, I'll bring a water to the table, and I'll just wash my hands right there. Or when I've finished eating, sometimes here, and I'll just take a water bottle, and I'll just wash my hands, you know, like this with one hand, the way you do it. So yeah, you learn a lot of things, even eating food, you know, with the scissors, kind of, you know. The first times, you know, I was just grabbing the stuff, and I had it all over. And then you have, well, Mercy actually was the one who taught me to eat properly, so you have to do the scissors. So I did the scissors, and of course it's sometimes when you're in areas where you won't have that many obrunis, you know, people will actually, you know, sit and look and say, yeah, he's really eating this, you know.
The way it should be.
Yeah, he's eating it the way it should be too, and it makes me feel, of course, I get a little bit proud of that, just like you would be proud picking up some Swedish customs, I guess. You know, you kind of feel you're within the environment. Yeah. And again, I mean, the Ghanaians, they're just extremely helpful. And I haven't really experienced anything, you know, any controversy or anything like that. So not more than you would expect from any society. Of course, I've had some discussions with a taxi driver to, you know, increasing the price halfway and things like that.
Which is expected.
Which is expected, you know, and it's kind of coming back to it. You know, you could laugh about it too, but sometimes, you know, of course, there will be some discussions about things, but still almost in a very polite and kind of subtle kind of way. I like that.
What has been your most funnest moments in Ghana?
My best moments. Oh that is a tough one, and I'm really unprepared for this. You know, I think that I've had I probably had the most revelating experience was probably in Buzwa, because I was there the first trip also. I've been there after that too, but I think that the whole community there was so mind-blowing and so different from what I was used to before, and that was also just a few days into Ghana. Before that, I had been to Accra and Kumasi, and these places were quite busy. And then I come into this place, Buzwa, and, you know, there's goats walking about on the streets, and people are doing, you know, oranges, and they have this little kerosene lamps in the evening, you know, they're standing there doing it. And it was maybe not the most amazing place, you know, of all, but it was the one that kind of took me into Ghana in a very humble and at the same time got a grip of me, because I actually loved it. I went out there and I had my breakfast on the streets, you know, with the goats walking about. And it was really a turning point. But then again, Ankobra has given me, you know, amazing experiences. And of course, Takoradi now has become a second home to me, because I have the apartment there, and I have my motorbike, and you know, I feel that I'm part of the community. People will, you know, greet me more like a neighbor, yeah, or native. Yeah, they would go, hey, Obruni Yao, they would say, and I would just say hello, and they don't really take very much notice of me. It's more
because
like just
they know
greeting.
that you're one of them.
Yes, and that has, of course, over time been the most precious place for me to be. So when I think of Ghana, it's usually that area around the Takoradi that I feel that's where my starting point. Wherever I go, I can go to places, but I'll always come back there to.
I saw a photograph of in your collection, and that had the caption "Sweden" above that. Tell me about that.
The shop.
The shop.
Yeah. Yes. I bought a shop, or this container shop in Takoradi. not really knowing what to do with it yet. It's still there, it's standing there, you know, it's paid for and everything like that. I actually go there and just sit about and sell water. I buy up a stock of water and I sit there and just have people walking by and you know, buy some water now and then. There's a lady, I think she's probably an immigrant from Nigeria or something. She doesn't speak she doesn't speak English, and she usually sleeps just beside there. So when I come in the morning, I lock up, I give her a few sackets of water. And for that, we created this little social. So she will always sweep the floor in front of the shop. So when I come there, it's always nice and tidy. And we just these things just happen. It wasn't like, you know, we were expecting anything from each other. And she's probably in her 60s or something like that, you know, sleeping outside. But there's some kind of relation there, and I miss that too. Even being here now, sometimes I think, I wonder what she's doing now, because she has no clue where I am. You know, I come and go. You know, Cobra. So when I'm gone, you know, she doesn't know, will he ever come back again, or you know what. So maybe this time I come back, you know, maybe she's just moved on to somewhere else, and we will never know. And you know, the kind of sad feeling you will get inside, and at the same time you're really happy about that it actually occurred. I have a photo of her standing in front of me. She has a big stone on her head, and I don't know why. A big concrete stone. She's walked about with that. You know, I never figure out why she would carry that thing.
You know, Peter, I just, while you were talking, I just remembered one thing that actually also, one similarity that we have with photographers, and also to delve a little bit into that aspect of the conversation and what actually is taking you to Ghana this time. Can you tell me, with regards to photography, is there any plans regarding that?
Yes, there is. It's about the school in Dixcove, which has now been completed. There was, when I got there the first time, there was just a small portion of that was working as a school, and there was some walls halfway built and things like that. And now, over time, we have managed to actually put roof on it all, and put doors and floors and things like that in there. And my idea is to go down now and I will do a documentary about what this has meant for the community and for the children, of course. And we're also engaging them in teaching them to do handcrafts, so that they will be slightly better equipped when they come out and going to do their own support their own way of living. They will have options that no one can take away from them by, you know, have taught them to do something with their fingers. And it's jewelry, accessories, and braiding hair and things like that. Some things that nobody can take away from them. Hopefully that will give them a better suit to manage when they get into the bigger cities, where it's very easy to come to under bad influence and stuff. So it might be hopefully an alternative for them. And all this is going to be documented during this trip. So I'm actually going to be staying at locals in Dixcove. I will just be invited to their homes, try to follow them, you know, as much as possible in their day-to-day duties, whatever it may be, fetching water, doing the laundry, making food. And I'll just, you know, kind of capture all this together with interviews of the people, the locals, and then of course the teachers and the children and all this. It's quite interesting because the whole thing with the school came out of something that I call the Gloria Initiative Fund, which I created when I was in Dixcove one of the times. And of course I'm very busy, you know, I'm in a kind of a working mode, so I just try to capture things, take photos, and get everything done. But there was this girl, and she had put her hand out of the bars of the window, and she had made this paper flower for me. Just a paper, she folded it and she tore it so it looked like a little bit of a flower. She was holding that out to me. And busy as I was, I just took the flower and I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And I took a photo of her first when she was holding it, and I didn't think of it anymore. And so I got back, you know, weeks later, of course, going through my photos, and I saw this picture again. And I just felt that, God, this girl, she has actually prepared this for me, thinking about me when she was doing this. And as she was doing it, giving it to me, I was just pretty much taking it and not really giving her the attention that maybe she was hoping for, whatever it was. But I got this feeling that I want to do something because she did a good favor, or she did a good deed towards me. She did something out of kindness with the only thing that she knew how to do. So I created this fund that I just called the Gloria Initiative Fund, and from that pretty much the whole school has been built, and there's also a number of children having their school fees paid for this little event, for this little thing that this little girl did. She actually changed the course because she put my mind into recognizing that something happened there, and I didn't acknowledge it at the time, but luckily I'm a photographer. So I took a photo of it, and if I hadn't, it would probably just have gone lost in my mind. But due to the fact that I actually had the picture and I saw her holding this flower there through the bars, I just felt that, hey, yeah, there's something we can do about this. And this girl, she doesn't have a clue actually, what she actually started, but she did it, and it was only because of her initiative to actually do something for someone else, to make someone else happy, for no reason other than just wanting to do it. And I think that's kind of amazing, and what the power what these things can evolve to.
Gloria, wherever you are, we don't know. You don't even know the impact that you've created, and the kind of opportunity that you've brought to so many people in this school. And hopefully this documentary is also going to go out to a lot more people, and people can take clues from this experience that Peter had in Ghana to make the world a much better place, and make it a much more meaningful place for all of us to live. It has been a baptism pleasure, yes, my friend.
Yes.
Engaging and knowing you. Let's meet again in Ghana. Let's have a great experience.
Yes. Madasi Pa.
Thank
you. Wow. That's great.
That's super. That's super.